There, with headlines reading crisis as nearly 380,000 Kenyan teenagers become mothers. It is the latest survey by the National Council of Population and Development that reveals the teenage pregnancy crisis we find ourselves in. Though we may have major leaps as far as education, child protection laws, and even technological advances, it seems we have failed at adolescent sexual and reproductive health. So what exactly are the risks involved for these young, curious minds, and just what are the solutions that could be viable to helping curb the rising cases of teenage pregnancies? Well, our favorite doctor is back. I'm talking about Ignatius Kibe. He is a gynecologist from St. Mary's Hospital. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Kibe.
Thank you very much,
Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
We also do have Teen Program Director Catherine Karira. She joined us today. She has built a well-established career working with teenage mothers, including providing support systems for them and their children, and she just happens to be a Sunday school teacher as well.
Yes, and my passion in life is to make our children know before they wish they knew.
Yes.
Chico, thanks for once again hosting me.
Yes, I definitely missed, having all our guests in studio. COVID-19 has separated us, but we are back together again.
Sure.
All right, so Karibu Sana, we have something that is definitely up your alley. You're passionate about this. And of course, as we talk about reproductive health, Dr. Kibe, of course, this is also up your alley. But let me start off with you, Catherine. Now, from your experience, do you actually believe that majority of the cases we are seeing could actually be issues of defilement or boy and girl interaction?
Defilement could be very few. Let's give them 2% on the higher side. Most of it, Chico, is relationships.
Really?
And I want to tell the teenagers out there, I have no problem with you being in a friendship, but do not have a relationship that is romantic. Romantic is what is chewing our girls. And Chico, let me tell you, our teenagers are wired with feelings, and we have fed them very well. You look actually even at a preteen, and you imagine she could be 15. And when Kamau, the boyfriend, or Cheng comes and greets the girl, let me tell you, teenager, by the time a young man comes and greets you, the greetings must not go above this. Because by the time they have gone above this and you know this is so near to this, you feel paragasha, and when they hug you, you forget what to do. So for you teen that is out there, I want to tell you something, that your response is your responsibility, more so you girl. We are talking of figures of very many pregnant, and I keep asking myself, who is a boy? Who is a man? Yes, I know defilement has happened, and it's actually very sad. It is happening in the comfort of our homes, where siblings are having sex with. This COVID thing has done a lot of disservice. It has given our children 3 things, and all of them in plenty. A lot of free time.
True.
And free time comes with idleness. And idleness trains us how to do trouble. And teens, they love fun. And crime. But let me tell every teen there, fun is not only in sexual immorality. You will cry. Actually, to make you grit your teeth with tears and regret. Then the next one is you have technology, and a lot of it. And we have smartphones that are smarter than mine. So every teen out there must know that the smartphone, you should not control them. You must control the smartphone. Otherwise, it's a highway of immorality. The third thing that our children have in front is foolishness. And the teenagers, they think they know. You look at a small teen, looks at the mother and says, "Mommy, what do you think you are?" Excuse me, teen. Stop raising your sharp voice to your parents. They know better. If anything, they taught you how to speak. So when we tell you to tame yourself, it's not because we hate you. We are telling you to tame yourself, then you can have it all through.
Because you know the end result.
Thank you, Chico.
Thank you. All right, let me just rope in Dr. Kibe at this particular point, because, someone is probably wondering, okay, fine, you can get pregnant as a teenager, preteen, you name it. But when you think about the anatomy of such a young girl and the kind of risks that she finds herself in if she does end up pregnant, why don't you talk to us a little bit about that?
First and foremost, let us agree that the organs, the reproductive organs of a teenager have not yet matured. They are young, they are succulent, fragile, and the resultant to pregnancy will be making a uterus carry a baby when it shouldn't, it's like eating an orange that is not ripe. It's like chewing a mango that is bitter because it is still youngish. So what will happen is that, first of all, she'll spoil her future in as far as her external private parts are concerned because they were not mature. It's like giving a small baby, hardly 5 months old, a sugarcane to chew. So what will happen is there will be lacerations, there will be tears, there will be sometimes even bleeding.
That's why you damage.
What happens rather inside the what we call the internal genitalia, the unseen part, is that the cervix is also not ready. And I dare warn girls that one of the causative and the initiation of cancer of the cervix is early teenage sex. When a girl hardly 18 does it once, twice, she's predisposing her cervix to scars, to wounds, to lacerations, because it is still succulent, it is still young. And by the time she touches 30, the effect of sex at teenage will come out as cancer of the cervix.
Wow. Let's throw in our question of the day so we can actually get our audience at home to start talking. We really want your opinion on this, about what we really have been seeing. And trust me, it has left so many of us with our jaws dropped. Who is to blame, in your opinion, for the rising cases of teenage pregnancies? Is there anyone, first of all, to blame? If you know, tell us the truth. What do you think? Is it the parents, the teachers, the children themselves? So who is to blame for the rising cases of teenage pregnancies in this country? Again, our socials at K24 TV. You can see our WhatsApp line that's quite active, and I will be sampling some of your text messages as we continue. But if you'd like to talk to us, I know there are so many of you who are quite passionate about this particular topic. Why don't you call in and give us your view? So, focusing on parents' role in their child's sexual and reproductive health. Let's just be honest, Catherine. Where are we failing at this? Because to be honest, how many actually know what Dr. Kibe has said, that I'm pre-exposing myself to, you know, all those dangers in cancer? So no one's showing me. How can you blame me if no one is telling me?
I like that. No one's showing me. And that is why we have failed. We keep quiet and we imagine our children don't know they know. Shiko, we cannot talk about sex without having the Bible. Because the Bible is written by God. And sex is a creation of God. The same way we tell children head, shoulder, knees and toes, is the same way we should be telling them about sex. And because I say they have three things that are driving them very much, we must talk it so often. Actually, every time, talk to them about sex.
Wow. Because and there's a parent thinking you're crazy right now. Like, how am I going to...
The Bible, it is here. Actually, and the Bible that all of us read in primary school as preteens and teenagers is good news. Shiko, good news. Proverbs at 1 verse 3 says, do not spend all your energy on sex. It is here. Actually, you got an hour that says, and there's time for making love, time for not making love, time for kissing and not for kissing. So when we fail to speak, we do the just says to our children, because they become amnesia prey. We need to tell them. Actually, Shiko, for me, I tell them point blank, we are here talking about teenagers pregnant. And as I said, where are the boys? And let me tell you, Shiko, we have a bigger problem with the boy child. Because he could be the he-goat of the whole village. Shiko, this morning when I was coming, I saw a goat. It was there everywhere. A boy could be like that. And then he can go and impregnate all of them in the village. But if msichana akisikia vile nimesema usipeane, and you know, feelings are not a pain.
It's true.
Actually, the best thing is you tame or you bear the blame. The question is, who do we blame? mommy must go and work. Daddy must go and work. But we have failed to tell them. And the best thing that you girl need to know is that your response is your responsibility.
Tame it or face the blame.
Tame it or face the blame. Because, by the way, let me finish this. That boy will come and hold you. You'll feel paragasha. Then your brains go down. The boy is on duty. He's hunting. A hunter, keep down the animal, goes for the next one.
Okay. So before we start dissecting about he-goats on the show, let's talk about the sex taboo or the sex talk taboo in our homes. And in specific to your services, by the way, as a doctor, Dr. Kibe, because how many parents actually encourage their daughters, for example, to actually go visit the gyna? It's wrong to visit the gyna because, the gyna will give you power or solutions to take your own reproductive health into your own hands. So they kind of feel that perhaps you're poisoning the girl's mind by telling her, you have options, or you should do this. Let's talk about that perception that even people have towards, your office.
Before they reach me, they should have reached to their aunts, their grandmothers, their own mothers, and friends of their mother. And this baseline, where we started, where I said cancer stalks or follows those girls who start sex when they are young. There's nothing worse than getting in the uterus, because that is the future of a woman. That is the home of her babies. And if she does it and she becomes pregnant, then it is torn. And she starts getting, again, scars and adhesions. And that will be a big scar in her lifetime.
Let me hold that thought for a second because we do have a caller on the line. Please, Dr. Kibe, hold on to that thought. Let's just hear what Damaris from Utawala has to say. Is Damaris still there? Okay, we've lost Damaris. Yes, continue.
So the language is, it should start in the house with the teacher. And by the time they reach us, of course, they come, even at teenage, but they come because they are discharging, they have chafu in their private parts.
So they're coming too late.
And I'm saying it to them that whenever you get the slightest discharge, the slightest color discharge, the slightest foul odor or bad odor from their private parts, it means it has already started inflammation, the process. Nothing that is good and alive smells bad. So by the time they reach us, they are smelling downstairs. And when they smell, there are various different types of bacteria. Quite often they are mixed. There is a Trichomonas vaginalis, there is gonorrhea, there is... So even with the 380,000 girls who have been made pregnant, probably there is 3.8 million girls who have severe infections in their genital and urinary tract. So this when somebody becomes pregnant, it simply means they did sex without protection. We are not saying they should do protection. We are saying they should stop it altogether, or they face the consequences of infertility. They face the consequences of having no husband, because unless she wants to become a Catholic nun, they will want babies. We are telling to them that gynecologists don't like treating girls when they are smelling bad or when they are discharging from, and along with that they disrupt the hormonal profile. When a woman becomes pregnant, it means from the brain, the hypothalamus and the pituitary, the whole system has been changed from normal to abnormal. From there on, she'll be battling irregular menses. She'll be battling probably clots coming out instead of blood. We'll be battling with them probably severe infections, and even ovarian cysts.
Okay. Do you actually see some of these challenges going forward with the girls that you have worked with and are helping, you know, on the ground? Because you work with them, they tell you their stories, they open their, you know, they share their secrets with you, Catherine.
Yes, I find it quite often, Shiko, and most of them is because they want to belong to the team.
Yeah.
Let me tell the teenagers there that having a boyfriend is not your password to life or your password to be accepted. You're already normal.
Yeah.
So the boy should not come and confuse that you are abnormal. One little girl shared to me, she was 12 then, how she had discharged.
Yeah.
And she had kept quiet until she was 14 years from 9. And I advised her to go and see a gynecologist, and I thank God that he's here. And what I normally tell them is that private part disease should not be kept privately because it's going to hit you privately and painfully. And the doctor has said it very well.
Yeah.
So, majuto ni mujuku. And we must talk and tell them that as long as you're sexually active, STDs are looking for you, and you could be having them. And it's unfortunate that the boys don't seem to have to care more. They want to go on. And the girl bears the pain
of it all. Maureen from Masinga is on the line from what I understand. Let's hear what she has to say. Maureen, good afternoon.
Hi, Shiko.
Hi, thank you so much for calling in. What are your thoughts on today's discussion?
First of all, let me appreciate and applaud you for bringing your panelists. I think they're doing very well.
Thank you.
And my comment is this. I'm actually in Masinga.
Yeah.
I came here after the whole COVID-19 thing. What is happening here is that you find that little children are being molested. And when they're being molested by relatives, they're forced to keep quiet. Or if they make it a family issue. So I'd like to ask the panelists, what do you think is the best way to go? Is it right to, I think it's high time for us to expose the perpetrators, actually.
Thank you so much.
Once the case goes ahead, they're talked down, they're pushed down. Because it's an uncle, it's a father, it's a cousin, and they're told, it's a letter, book of...
Yeah. All right. Sorry, we seem to have lost Maureen there, but she's raised a very valid point. By the way, when a girl actually ends up getting pregnant and sourcing someone like you, Catherine, for help, what's the first step of action? Is it, okay, understanding who is responsible for that pregnancy, and do you probably connect them with legal consultations in order to take this further? Because if you're hearing some of these cases are because of defilement.
Yeah, Shiko, it's true. They come, and one of them came, and she was not able to look at my face, and she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I asked her, sweetie, who did it? And she had to write down my brother.
Oh, my.
So the first thing is you find who did it, then you connect them to the social worker. Unfortunately, defilement and rape is a very complicated scenario.
Right.
Because it should be have been reported as soon as it happened. So as we talk about the ones that have already been defiled, we must protect the ones that are not defiled. And I normally tell the little young girls, because now even toddlers are defiled. So I keep encouraging the girls, do not sit on anybody's lap. Sit on your chair. Do not allow anybody to touch you. I call them private manenos. But again, who is talking other than Catherine? It's true. So the girl must know I have private things that will not be touched by anybody.
Which is unfortunate.
It is so unfortunate that even, I don't know what happened to the men. They look at a young girl, she's only 10, and they think, my daughter, and they have sex with a girl. So we must have a relationship with our children.
Absolutely. Okay, hold that thought. Let's take a look at what you have to say via WhatsApp concerning the rising cases of teenage pregnancies in this country. What do you have to say? Well, Omwaka Weekly from Huruma says, the problem that we are facing with teenage pregnancy is a result of failure by everyone, starting with parents, teachers, and the community. You can't convince a kid not to engage in sexual activity, yet we see it everywhere through dress code, how we talk, etc. Ambia uyo dem wahigot apeleke feelings mbali. And are you a dem ama ni mama ama nani? Okay, fine. Let's take a look at another one if we do have another text message. Okay, I understand we've got a caller on the line. Okay, let's take the call. Good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead. Do you have a comment or a question?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from Eldoret.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chico, for that discussion. And I want to make the following comment. Number one, I do have a comment.
Yes, go ahead.
And the challenge is most parents don't discuss sexual issues with their parents.
Right.
They want to keep it to themselves. And when the problem comes up, I find it very difficult as a parent. Why wouldn't you discuss this issue with your kids? And it happens that, for me, allow me to give my personal example. I didn't have a girlfriend all the way from high school.
Yeah.
And even when I went to more university in Eldoret, I got my first girlfriend when I was in my 4th year. And I ended up marrying her. So I will advise all parents to put this discussion open. Discuss the issue with your kids. Let the parent know where the challenge is, where the gaps are, so that we can cross the gap. We cannot assume that it's the role of teachers or of priests to handle their daughters. They have to open up, make your daughter to be your best friend, and the rest will just happen up. We cannot keep a blind eye when these things are rising. It's a shame. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Michael. Daktari, I want to rope you in on something that has probably crossed every girl's mind. But let me start off with Catherine on this one. And, you can keep it brief on, because I know you'll be passionate about it. Obviously, you being a Sunday school teacher and, a steward of the word, you understand that this is a no for you because you're pro-life. But a girl has thought about getting rid of that child. Abortions. How are you able to convince a girl who knows that she has her life ahead of her? She knows she has school. She's going to miss all those opportunities to keep that baby as opposed to aborting it.
Thank you, Shiko. Let me talk to you, teenager, is that pregnancy is not the end of life. Actually, pregnancy is the beginning of a new life. And abortion is a crime. Abortion actually makes you a killer mother to a child that you made either in pressure or in pleasure. And abortion, God has not created abortion, but the pregnancy has come and we have not planned. Let me ask you, teenager, assuming it was your boy that you did with or that man, the ones that you call a sponsor, you'd not do it to make a baby, but now the baby has been made. So you must take ownership of the baby, because abortion does not end on the abortion bed. It lives with you. The aftermath, and I'm sure Daktari can agree with me, the aftermath is long-lasting. So what I want to tell you, teenager, is remember that if there was no COVID, you'd be in school term 2.
Yeah.
So what I want to encourage you is give birth, grow the baby, go back to school, because you have a path of success ahead of you.
And then now focus.
Yes.
Okay. When you take a look at, of course, this as an option for a lot of girls who say, you know what, I have to do it. I have to do it. The risks, Daktari.
Number one, she's torn. Inside there, abortion is like uprooting a healthy young plant. Take, for example, a cassava. And you physically and traumatically pull it out. So what do you leave there? A lot of wood. There is all over the uterus is wooded.
Yeah.
There'll be infection immediately. We call it postpartum infection. There'll be all types of, if you uproot a tree or a shrub, you find all types of insects and worms and mendes and mchoas and everything going there. And what happens is that the inside of a woman is not sterile, is not germ-free. So all these things will go there, and sooner than later, if she survives excessive of bleeding, she'll have postpartum infection. And what will the infection do? Block fallopian tubes.
Right.
Bring about what we call endometritis, which is an infection in the whole of the reproductive system to the end. And she'll also be playing around with her future children.
By the way, don't you always ask women who have infertility issues or fertility issues whether they have had abortions?
Absolutely, because we want to check whether the tubes are blocked, whether she has wooded uterus, whether we have a fallopian tube that was spoiled by the trauma. You see, inside there are cilia. There are small structures that pull the egg in and the sperm in. In an abortion, you destroy the whole system. It's like a big wind or something like a tsunami. And it has gone through the ocean that is the uterus and the fallopian tube. And she may never in future have a child.
Let's leave it there and, of course, ask our audience, for you who's watching at home, what your thoughts are on today's discussion. We're talking about the rising cases in teenage pregnancy. And we throw a question to you and ask you who's to blame for all of this. Where does it begin? Where does it stop? And what do you think should be the solutions going forward? We're going to take a short commercial break, but there's the question of the day for you. Who is to blame for the rising cases of teenage pregnancies? Who is to blame for the rising cases of teenage pregnancies? There's more to come right here on K24 with me, Shiko Kaitani, and of course my guests, Dr. Kibe and Catherine Karira. Stick with us.